Hi, welcome to Conquering Clutter's YouTube channel. I'm Bob, and today today's video is on garage layout tips. And the reason it's called tips is because a garage is such a personal storage area. And uses may be different, yours than others, and garages are hard to modify to make it your space. And not saying it can't be done, but it could be costly, and some things may not work with others, and it depends how old the system is that we're trying to modify. Can't be done. So that's what I'm saying. Tips are used for you to think about how you're going to lay out your garage system. So what I like to do is think about a garage as storage areas, okay? Ceiling, walls, floor. Of course, floor space is important in a garage to get your cars in, and also just to maneuver around to get to where you need to be in it. So walls and ceilings make the best sense, or the best use of space for you. And there's some tips here that you need to look for in order to maximize that space. And first we're going to start with overhead racks. So let's just say an overhead rack to get your ceiling space. They come in various sizes and heights. They can go from 18 to 48 and 4x8 down to 2x4. Okay, great way to put stuff up out of the way. Storage racks are useful. Some people don't like to use them because they don't like to have to get up on a ladder and get something down, and it could be dangerous. But those are choices that you're going to have to make by the amount of things that you need to store if you don't have all the wall space for it. So always keep in mind where a storage rack goes. In the ceiling, it has to make sure that it's secured up top by joists. And so that depends where they can go. You have to look out for a sprinkler head. You don't want a sprinkler head where you're putting items. You could bump it. That could be a disaster. Plus, you could block it where it needs to spray to help put the fire out. That's their use. Lights. You don't want a ceiling light right next to it, because now you're only lighting this area, and in this area isn't getting the light down here. So those are important things that you need to look at. You just can't go in there and put this overhead rack up and go, wow, I just now have a spot that I did not think of. So think of those things where the garage opens up. How am I going to get stuff in and out of that rack? Do I have 3 sides or 4 sides to get all the way around it? Do I have that much luxury of space to do this? Or is it against a wall with another wall, and I only got 2 areas to pull stuff out, so I got to take everything out to get to that one in the corner? Think about those things, okay? Those are very important, but storage racks are a great cost-effective way to get stuff off the floor. Okay, other uses of ceiling space that I've done, or Conquering Clutter's done, is U-racks. And you could put surfboards, ladders, longer items, fishing poles, stuff like that out of the way, and view them from the ceiling and keep that tight to the ceiling. So those are a good way to get long items up without having to take up all this rack space that you would use for, like, say, the overhead racks with a grid system. Now it's just open, easier to get these long items in and out too. So remember, you could always go up and then over with these type of U-racks, they're called. And they also mount to joists to support the weight, but not as much weight as the overhead racks. Again, keep in mind sprinklers, lights, door rail for the your doors on your garage, your front doors, things like that. You need to look for attic openings, attic access, stuff like that, the vent to get out of the garage. Okay, so ceilings, great space, great use of space for some overhead racks, U-racks, surfboard racks. Get that stuff up there. It's off the garage floor and out of the walls way, which this is going to be your best use. So there's some issues though when you deal with cabinetry. So let's just go into, this is a garage, this is the entry into their home. Okay, so let's just say here's the 2 doors. So say there's a cabinet that you want here, and this is a high use cabinet. What I mean by high use is water, shoes, paper goods, things like that. So what we like to do is, if it's shoes, you want to keep it about 14 inches deep. okay, and 32 inches wide. Why 32 inches? 4 pair of ladies' shoes on a full shelf, 3 pair of men's shoes on a full shelf. 32 inches, perfect width, okay, and what it also does, and this is important, makes these doors, since there's 2 doors, divided by 2 is 16. Now you have 30 inches from the wall to get your car while it's parked and open up the door to the cabinet. So if you want to get out and get the kids get the shoes or get gym shoes and they're not using this car, you don't want to be backing this car in and out just to get in this cabinet. So high use cabinets, always think about where you're putting them and can I get to everything. Always take the width by the depth, divide the width by 2 and the depth's the full depth. That's what's going to get you this magical number out from the wall and where the car can go. All right, so this is a great way to do it. You don't want to do too many 32-inch cabinets because your best, a 32-inch and 48 by 96 by 24 deep. That's your best value dollar-wise for a cabinet. You're using an entire sheet of material for the 2 doors, an entire sheet for the 2 sides, which are 24, and material comes in 4 by 8, and then the rest for the inside of the adjustable shelves. So a 32-inch versus a 48-inch wide cabinet is minimal dollars. They still have to build it the same way. Keep that in mind too, because you're going to go, oh, well, they're only 32-inch cabinets, but the cost is the same manufacturing-wise as it is a 48. So you have to decide on those. So, but a high-use cabinet, try to decrease the depth by decreasing the width. That means the doors help cut down, and you might want to put a 180-degree hinge on this door on one side, maybe not on the other because you got a cabinet and it won't swing all the way, but this one can swing out of the way, get what you need out of it, you know, step out here and then close the door and go on in the house. Nobody has to move the car. All right, so that's one thing to look for on high-use cabinets. Long-term storage cabinets can be your 24 deep, 48 wide, 96. And you could put them going into a corner with a door opening this way, and this cabinet's here. So their doors are like this, out, out. And this butts against it, so there's no door here, but you could still open this up and get into that dead space and push the stuff back in this corner that you don't get to that often. That's how you would corner a unit going around a garage is similar to this. You don't want to spread this cabinet out to here and have this door open and this door open. Same thing here, because look at all this space you just wasted. And wall space in a garage is premium with sprinkler system mechanisms on the wall, fire sprinkler systems on the wall, electrical outlets, the electrical panel, whatever may be there and is an obstruction can limit your wall space. This is a great way to get around that. Watch your depths. Next thing, watch your ceiling heights, okay? And again, what I mean by that is, say this is the side view of a cabinet and you want to go all the way to the ceiling and the door opens up here and then this one opens up here, but guess what? You got a light here. The door won't open. It only goes to here. Keep ceiling obstructions in mind with the wall obstructions, because you don't want to spend a lot of money on these 2 cabinets and know you can't open that door. Okay, so watch for that. Watch for sprinklers. Always. What I usually do is measure the height from the ceiling down for a light. If say a light's 4 inches, I'll lower this cabinet by 4 inches and then put a nice trim piece up there, and then I know I just cleared this. Okay, this light. No worries. This has happened many times, okay? I don't want to say that experience is the best lesson, but sometimes it is. Okay, now we got that covered. So cabinetry, watch obstructions in the ceiling. It affects the way you lay them out. Next thing is the garage door rail. This limits you because you can't put deep cabinets on that wall, because what happens is if it goes up above, how does it open up its door? It can't, because it just hit the rail. Boom, boom, boom. All right? And sad, sad, sad. Okay? So I don't want you to get sad. I want you to be happy. So what you could do is, usually when you got this rail, you got that little sensor down there for your garage door. I like sometimes to put Slat Wall, which is a great accessory item. You can get them at Lowe's, Home Depot. We supply it. It comes with a full catalog of accessories that you could put here and put brooms, rakes, hose accessories, polish kits, and baskets. And then you could just grab the basket and take it with you to go wash your car right out there by the door. That's a good way to start out. Or do an open shelving unit here. Okay? Because you could still tuck the stuff behind the rail. And then what it does is bump your next cabinet out to here. And the doors will open. If you do want to go all the way up to the top, you can by extending this up and putting a couple shelves all the way to the ceiling, but those shelves cannot have doors on them. But you could put Rubbermaid containers up over the rail and into it. It's a good way to do that. Another thing that I've done is we've used it for ladders. Say they don't do this, and we put ladders up here. Okay, so you got long areas to store surfboards, ladders, the cutting pole for the tree, for your palm tree or whatever it may be, up top here, and it's easy to get to because you get a ladder and you can reach over the door rail and just grab it. You know, so that's a way around the door rail. But then after you get past it, you can then extend your cabinet up high and all the way down the rest of the wall. Okay, the other thing you're going to be contending with down here is a mud sill. Okay, mud sills do not prevent you from using that wall. Remember that. I've had mud sills go up 24 inches, 36 inches, 4 feet. It all depends what the structure of that garage and above it needed for it to rest on for support. Okay, so that's key to it. So we've got to worry about the mud sill, but not. Now, at Conquering Clutter, we keep our units 6 inches off the floor. Now, that gives you two things. First of all, it gives you an area to store some stuff down below. Tuck it up out of the way, you don't see it. Pull it out, want to sweep, you could take your broom down up underneath it. If you put your cabinets to the floor, that's also good, but you got to remember that now you can't use that space underneath it, and space is a premium. So you don't want that ladder up top, you want it down below to grab out, put it there. That's a great spot, you know, to get it out of the way and know you're not driving on it or stepping on it. The other thing is too, water. You got to remember, you come in from a rainy day or snow or wherever you lives at, it melts off, goes into those garage cabinets, sucks up into the cabinet, next thing you know they're all swelled and your investment is destroyed. So do that. You can go with deeper cabinets, but what ends up happening, okay, so say you want off the wall 30 inches deep. Your cost goes up because you're not using the best yield of material, okay? But then a foot has to be put to the floor on the front of the cabinet. This is the wall. And that helps support it because you can't cantilever out too far. 24 inches is our maximum. Anything over that cabinet starts to get too much weight put in it, you start to ruin. So the legs or the feet help support it. And there's nice looking feet out there that we use, you know, done in brushed nickel and black and things like that. And it kind of hampers you when you're going to sweep. Sometimes you could just take your blower, your leaf blower, and blow the stuff out from under there, and this way you're not, you know, struggling to get it out. So 30-inch deep cabinets is okay. The other thing you got to deal with are these shelves are so heavy on the inside because they're now 30 inches deep, 24 wide or 38 wide or 40, and they're so heavy to lift up and try to maneuver around in here. And the weight that you could put on them will make them bow. So those are things that you want to try to avoid with your garage cabinetry. But sometimes 30 inches deep, it may pay because you may have these wide side walls where you're not using a car net, and you want to get everything in there, or some specialty items that you may want to store. Okay, so that's another area. The other thing that I like to always let you know is, again, 48, 96, 24. 48 wide, 96 tall, 24 deep. Best price, best value for your dollar on a cabinetry. Anything else, 36 inches and things like that, you're paying almost the same amount as you did a 48. So if symmetrics is what is that may decide your widths of your cabinets on a wall, because there may not be an even 48 divider to go all the way down it and get them out to equal cabinetry. So like I said, that's why a garage is so personal of the use of its space versus that it can be anything used for anyone. Okay, and that's key to it. Just remember that they're very hard to modify in that and things like that. So what else do you do with obstructions in a wall? Like I said, slat wall is a great use of space in little areas, and slat wall comes in different colors. And look at our website, www.conqueringmyclutter.com. We have an area for it to show you what it looks like. All these accessories snap in from golf racks, tennis rackets, brooms, rakes, shovels, cords, hoses. They literally snap in wherever you need it. And if you're good with layout of it, to snap in your accessory, you can put a long broom and then a shorter one below it, and then still have space to get another one maybe in between. It is so nice. We love it in our garage, I'm telling you. Expensive ticket item, but well worth it in areas where cabinetry cannot be put at. Okay? Next thing I just want to touch base on, and when we wrap this video up, is benches. You can do a bench pretty much any way you want. One with drawers. Countertops. Now, countertops, we like to use a butcher block style. It's in birch, Baltic birch. Very nice top, but durable. Remember, if you use a high pressure laminate and you're pounding on it and you're a tinkerer and you like to use your countertop, you could scratch it all up. The wood one is so nice. You put your own finish on it, and if something happens, lightly sand it and put another coat of varnish on it, and you're not replacing an entire top. And then you can have a bench area here for your chair, to sit down in and all that. And drawers, most of these cabinets are 24 deep, or depending upon what you need them for. Drawers pull out, make sure they're heavy duty, because you're going to be putting a lot of heavy stuff in there. We like to make ours out of 3/4 inch, and they're very durable. So those are good. Overhead cabinetry, things to look for. You can do some open shelving for some items that you need to get to without always opening up a door to see what's behind it. And these are usually 16 inches deep. Don't go 12. If you go 12 deep, it's like your kitchen cabinet at home. The plate barely fits in it. Same thing here. Make them 16 inches deep. You can do under cabinet lighting, which is fantastic to light that area up with some LED lights and a little dimmer, and just push the button and off you go at a great work area. Always keep in mind when you're doing the bench though, storage is limited. Okay? I mean, the drawers, you can only put so many items in it. The underneath cabinet, if you just go with cabinets, they're only so big. So keep that in mind. It may hold a cooler and stuff like that. So they take away from valuable wall space if you don't have it. And one other thing I want to touch base on is cabinetry on a side wall where the car may go in. This is my car. It's not the greatest, but I'll take it. Anyway, so if you need to get out of the car, this can be up around 60 inches off the ground. Still get out of a car, but it all depends on if you have a truck, that may not work. Then you may not even want to do it. But with a car, you can open up your door completely to the wall. You can put some slat wall underneath it and put some stuff out of the way that you don't need to, or easily to get to. And car door can open up still fully, get out. Watch your head though. You just put an obstruction, so the cabinet depth, you have to watch how deep these go. Typically, we do them from anywhere from 16 to 24, depending upon the width of a garage. I hope this helps you out. And if there's any other questions that you have, please hit our like or subscribe or send us an email. We're always here to help you out. I mean, this has been our life for 25 years now, conquering clutter and being in the organization business. We've come up with a lot of good things out there. And always remember, organization isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Every time you open up that garage door, you get peace of mind, open heart, and joy. instead of opening up the garage and have everything that just stresses you out, like what are we going to do with all this stuff, and you almost run in your home just to get away from it and close the door and forget about the garage. So the garage is very important. These tips are very important for laying out a garage. If there's anything I missed, just send us an email back and ask us your question. We'll gladly then post it and go from there. Hopefully you'll see our next video within the next few days. And again, have a great day.